Look, it's a bad idea to follow up Superman without Batman or Wonder Woman. And it's an even more bad idea to follow up Superman with a character nobody gives a damn about. And hence we got Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock, directed by Craig Gillespie, written by Ana Nogueira. What can I say about this movie? Come on, man. I'm trying very hard to remember what I just watched because there is nothing worth remembering this movie for. You could have swapped Guardians of the Galaxy with Supergirl and nobody would have noticed, dude. This feels like the BTS footage or a cancelled Guardians of the Galaxy movie with all the Guardians of the Galaxy members swapped out for Supergirl. What the hell is this? Okay, let me try to give you a summary, or at least I'll try my best to give you a summary. So Supergirl is depressed because her planet is destroyed and she's drinking all the time. Fair enough.
Better get moving.
And then a ruthless threat in the name of crime comes and she has to face all her demons and save this girl. What does come to your mind when I describe you this movie? Oh, what did just came to your mind when I describe this? Something interesting, something vibrant, something dark, and something heroic. Trust me, the movie is none of those. Okay, let's read the IMDb synopsis for this movie. Synopsis, sorry. Okay, so what it is? Yeah. Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, joins forces with an unlikely companion on an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice when an unexpected adversary strikes too close to home. If this movie tried even 50%, screw 50%. If this movie tried even 10% of telling a story of what it is in the synopsis, this would have been 100 times a better movie than what we just got. What was this pile of garbage? What the fuck? And if you think I am ranting just for the sake of ranting, well, dude, I wish I was. Because even if I wanna write a review of this movie, I don't know what to write. This movie is so fucking bad that you won't even want to review it. It's so sterile, it's so bland, it's so fucking hubris that you don't even want to remember this movie. You only just want to remember the money that you lost. The only good thing about this movie is that it has a cameo from David Cornsweet as Superman, and it's set in the same universe as, Superman 2025 and DCU, the DCU. But man, I cannot find any other good thing about this. Nothing. This could have been a tax write-off, dude. Why the hell would you make something like that? I'll tell you why the movie is bad. First of all, Kara Zor-El witnesses her home planet get destroyed, and which makes her depressed and she's drinking all the time. Fair enough. But they show her as a 23-year-old. I mean, dude, if you wanted to show that she's dealing with grief and all that shit, you could have aged her up a little bit, or you know what, you shouldn't have given her an age, because in the comics Supergirl is older than Superman. Supergirl and Superman left the planet, if I remember it correctly. Supergirl and Superman left the planet when Supergirl was still in her 20s or late teens, and Superman was still a fucking baby. Superman was still a baby when they both left Krypton. Her ship got lost somewhere in the cosmos, and Superman landed in Earth, in Kansas, where he was brought up by Ma and Pa Kent. And then after a few years later, Superman meets Supergirl, but she hasn't aged up a little bit because in the cosmos you don't age by that logic. Of course, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's the comics, but that made more sense rather than whatever the hell we got from this. You gave her the age of 23 and you're telling her that she's already tired with life without doing any goddamn thing. I mean, really, modern woman really writes modern woman like no other women have written women. I know what I said doesn't make sense, but this movie doesn't either. She's written like this modern Instagram influencer woman, feminist woman, who is a spoiled brat and uses edgy dialogues all the time, and all that shit. And she comes across as unlikable. Supergirl is anything but unlikable. Even in the Superman Batman Apocalypse animated movie, where she was found by Batman and Superman, she broke Batman's equipment. Even there, she was likable. She was innocent. But here, she looks like she looks like a she looks like a child of Ray Palpatine and Brie Larson. What the hell, dude? And someone please tell me whose idea was it to give Supergirl a budget of $170 million, or that's what they're saying. But the real budget could be the budget, okay? Not the marketing included, but only the budget. Could be around more than $200 million from reported sources of other news outlets and, other places. Whose idea was it to give this movie a budget of $170 million? See, the original Supergirl movie that came out in 1984, that was reportedly set in the same universe as Richard Donner's Superman. It was a good movie, but we cannot deny the fact that it flopped at the box office, and it flopped big time. And hence why nobody moved forward with the sequel. Not even Warner Brothers wanted to include her in the future Superman movies or anything else. They scrapped that plan completely. So whose idea was it to give Supergirl a budget of $170 million and not fast tracking Batman the Brave and the Bold or Wonder Woman, the characters, the superheroes that people actually give a damn about? Who the hell is this? I don't know, man. I feel like James Gunn's biggest enemy is James Gunn himself. He made Superman, which I was very skeptical about, but I was genuinely impressed with Superman. I genuinely loved that movie, the comic accuracy of it, its silliness, and its, you know, sometimes people say it comes across as cringe, but yeah, that's what kindness means these days. Kindness always comes across as cringe. Supergirl is nothing like that. It wants to be edgy, it wants to be bold, it wants to be beautiful. It becomes nothing. It just becomes bland. It's the bullshittiest movie I have ever seen this year. Even Disclosure Day and what whatever some other bad movie that I watched, Mandalorian and Grogu, they are they were also masterpieces compared to this. What the hell is this movie? And Millie Alcock, whatever her name is, she doesn't look good. She doesn't look beautiful, not even remotely good. Damn, man, she looks good in the promotional materials in the marketing of the movie, where they are doing all this marketing by going to World Cup and all that, by giving interviews to Letterboxd and all other places. But she doesn't look good in the movie. She looks, I don't know, man. She looks like, I don't know. She looks like Will Poulter's character from We Are the Milers with Jennifer Aniston and all that. Yeah, she looks like that. She doesn't even look good. I don't know whose idea was it to make her look like this in the movie, but that person needs to be fired because this is very bad makeup. The suits, the suits are great. The suit is great. I will not lie. And some of the visual scenes, especially the ones involving Lobo, they are good. Oh, and one more thing, Lobo. Trust me when I say this that nothing feels last minute like Lobo in Supergirl than anything that I have ever seen. Then it's true. Because Lobo feels like a last minute addition to this movie because they know how screwed up they were after they had the final cut on their hands. Lobo feels out of place. Lobo isn't even acting like Lobo. He's just acting like Jason Momoa. In fact, you know what? I think if someone told me that this is Aquaman in Lobo's skin, I would have believed that person because Lobo has Lobo is dangerous and ruthless in the comics. He has a deep, very deep, raspy voice, and even his, even a single sentence from him and sounds like an announcement for war. He's so dangerous and ruthless. But here he's just bland. He just comes and goes. But it's always a treat to see Jason Momoa on the big screen. The energy that he gives to all of his roles, the energy with which he has a screen presence of, is far better than the entire Supergirl movie. So yeah, Jason Momoa's part, even though he didn't act like Lobo, he just acted like himself, was very entertaining. Very entertaining, to be very honest, to be fair to them. They knew it was a screw up, the movie was a screw up, and that's why they added him. So that decision is a very big plus point. But I hope that Jason Momoa acts more like Lobo in the future upcoming movies, because this movie is not going to cut it. This is going to destroy his reputation. And in fact, you know what, James Gunn? Why not keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman and Lobo? You kept John Cena, you kept Viola Davis, you kept, I think, two more characters, but why not keep Jason Momoa as Lobo, the best thing to come out of the DCU after Shazam? Why not keep him? The villain of this movie is so bland, so forgettable, and so funny, cringe. I don't mean funny in a funny way. Funny means cringe. Absolute cringe. A disaster. They could have just removed the villain also and wouldn't have mattered. Supergirl doesn't have any resistance. She doesn't have any kind of, drive to make this world a better place, or even fight, or have inspired new hope. She doesn't even have any of that. You can argue with the fact that, she witnessed her planet being destroyed, and that's why she's like that depressed. Fair enough. But she's a superhero, for God's sake. She has to work towards that. She has to overcome the hurdles. She has to overcome her demons so that she can be an inspiration to everyone. This is a family-friendly movie. But even though this is a family-friendly movie, this has edgy dialogues. I don't know how that makes sense. But anyway, this is a family-friendly movie, and a family-friendly superhero movie should inspire hope, should be something that kids, adults, and everyone strive to be like. Nobody is criticizing a depressed woman or a woman who's dealing with, trauma. We loved Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We loved Black Widow. We loved all the other female characters who were written well. But Supergirl, she's written like a spoiled fucking brat. She looks retarded. She acts retarded. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. This movie is the worst movie that I've ever seen. Coming from the DCU, which is, I know, not a lot. But if this is the lowest bar they could be, then I don't even want to know. Because we all expected the movie to be below average, or even, somewhere around 20 to 30% good. But this movie is not even 10% good. This movie is utter bullshit. But you know what? I'm not a cynical person, or at least I hope I'm not. Nor am I a pessimist person. And I hope this movie makes money so that we can, see much more DC movies in the future, DCU movies. Because as a DC fan, I don't want DC to fail because of such bullshit movies like this, like Supergirl. I wanted to go forward. I have seen DC suffer a lot more than any of us deserve. Even Marvel fans feel pity for us. Dude, even they feel pity for us. And yet, the executives, the person who are in charge of making these movies, keep making the same goddamn mistake forever. And I don't know James Gunn, but this was a bad idea. You know what? Superman was great, and I give you all the credit for that. I give you. I am always, supporting of Superman and the decisions that you take about that movie. But I don't support you in any other project that you have done in the DCU. Not for, you know, what was that? Not for Creature Commandos, definitely not for Peacemaker, and definitely not this. I mean, you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to be Marvel and the boys at the same time. Marvel in the sense by doing family friendly movies like Superman and Supergirl, and the boys like Creature Commandos and Peacemaker, where you have that all those gross scenes. But by doing all that, you are not doing the one thing that DC deserves. Being DC. DC Comics deserves its own unique treatment. Fuck it, DC is the thing that inspired Marvel to be better. DC is what made the boys a parody. Nothing could match DC on comics. Nothing. Not even Marvel comics, not even Invincible, not Spider-Man comics or anything. DC is the goat of comics, and we want that faithfulness, that commitment, that resilience, that love in the big screen. Not this pile of shit. So, yeah, I hope Supergirl makes money, because I don't want DC to fail, DC to suffer again. I've seen it a lot more times than I thought I could handle. I've seen DC suffer a lot more than it deserves, and now I don't want that. So yeah, I wanted to break even and keep continuing making movies. In September we have Clayface. I know Clayface is going to be good because it's written by Mike Flanagan, inspired by the Feet of Clay episodes from Batman the Animated Series. And I know it's going to be good, but then again, it's R-rated. And there is no Batman in it. We want Batman. Where the fuck is Batman, dude? Where is the Brave and the Bold? Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman should be introduced at the same time. You know what? Because they are the trinity of DC. And whoever's idea was to hire Ana Nogueira to write this movie should be fired. She doesn't have any credits to her name, writing credits to her name. Only few short films here and there. Nothing big to give her a $170 million movie to write for. And guess what she's writing? Here, let me teach you how to shoot yourselves on the foot. Guess what Ana Nogueira is going to be writing in the future? She's going to be writing for DC, and you know what character she's going to be writing for? Wonder Woman. We are fucked. Hey guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. We are at 21 subscribers. Let's get to 1000 real quick. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you ask me if you want to watch Supergirl or not, then don't. If you have money to waste, then go and watch it. Otherwise, if you want to save money, then don't. Because this movie is not worth it. And thank you.